Good afternoon and good morrow to thee, my loyal subjects. My name is MiAh the King, and today we are taking a look at a game that came out just a couple of hours ago called Patron, or Patron. This game is a simulation city builder colony sim game, developed and published by Overseer Games. Patron is a survival city builder with a unique social dynamic system. Gather and produce resources, build your fledgling village in a prosperous city, and navigate the intricate social tensions before they reach a boiling point. Okay, after playing the game for a while, I don't really get that last bit, but whatever, most of that is still pretty on point. Sorry about the noises in the background. My brother's dogs are still here and still playing havoc on my background noises. Anyway, upon playing this game for an hour or so, I have a pretty darn good idea on how it's going to play the next 70 hours. So I feel I can do a pretty decent good job of this video here. So as always, let's go into the pros and cons, because I don't want to waste any more of your precious, valuable, delicious time. Speaking of which, this game is not in early access, fully released. Alright, so the first positive is the attention to detail here. It's really nice. I mean, you can see the little NPC characters working and toiling away in their workshops. You can see the individual blocks on the road. I mean, you can see random animals running around the forests. Watch the little guy fish on the docks, and even watch the guard at his post change his stance based on how he's feeling at the moment. So in other words, they added a lot of little intricate details, all in an effort to make the city feel alive. Number 2, the game's graphics. Now, while they aren't the best that I've ever seen, they're a little bit blurry for some reason. Maybe it's just a graphical option, maybe I missed it. But the point is, it still looks pretty good. I was afraid, if it was looking this good, that it would be limited in other factions, or maybe it would be missing in some ways, but it doesn't really seem like it. It just looks good for a game of this type, and it's kind of refreshing. But I mean, that's not all that's refreshing. On to point number 3, going along with that whole refreshing bit. The game and its gameplay offers you more than just building up a city. On the one hand, it's not as complicated as city skylines, which I appreciate. But on the other hand, it's not as simple and easy as Banished, which I also appreciate. The game has several levels to it that force you to think and not just approach this casually. I mean, you need roads, you need depots, you need signs to help direct your people. You need to research certain things to help with the smooth transitional competence of your workers and help make everything just flow smoother. And there's even a slight diplomatic type of thing where you choose your own adventure style kind of stuff going on here. You'll get choices you have to make. Support your king or don't. And each has consequences and rewards and allows you to really delve deep into the game in a more serious light, while also allowing you to have different playthroughs. I mean, it's a city builder, which is already renowned for its replayability as a genre, but then they're giving you even more choices and even more replayability. It's a really nice, fun, unique addition to the city builder genre, and I highly approve. Number 4 is, unlike in other city builders that I've reviewed on this channel, here they give you decent but not overpowering music, and they give you a lot of ambient sound effects. Now, I turned off the music just to double check this, and all I could hear was the sounds of birds chirping, people chopping, talking, walking, hammering. I could hear the wind and the water, and when losing the music, I still found the sound quality to be pretty darn good. Once again, not the best, but, hey, it's definitely not the worst, and at least there is some attempt at immersive ambiance here. Number 5, and my final positive point, is the price tag, and the overall content here, but the price tag is appropriate for what they are giving us. They don't overreach. The game will offer you the same thing that tons of other $20 city builder games give you, but this time, it's more modern in its gameplay, graphics, and style. I'm not feeling cheated in the slightest, and I found the price is easily appropriate for the game and its title, and when I was done playing the game, I just felt, pleasant, I guess. I felt like I finally was able to buy something that I was hoping and expecting, and it turned out to be what I was hoping and expecting. So now that we got all those pros out of the way, it's time for us to discuss the negatives. This will be a deal breaker for a lot of you out there, so I suggest you pay attention. But before we get into that, I'd like to humbly ask all of you wonderful viewers out there, if you find yourself enjoying my video, or at least finding it informative, it would help me greatly if you guys and girls could support my YouTube channel. I mean, how can you support me, you might be asking yourself? Well, it's super simple and requires almost zero effort on your part. All you gotta do is hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and leave me a little comment. It takes you 5 seconds, doesn't hurt or harm you in any way, but it helps change my world positively in a big way. So please give my channel some consideration. Thank you. Now then, on to the negatives. The first one that reached out to me was the controls. While the controls themselves are easy to understand and figure out for the most part, they're just a little bit wonky and awkward. Sliding with momentum, which I never really liked, the super sensitivity of the rotation, and how the mouse seems very hard to manage. It's hard to explain. Normally you just move the mouse over to the big X to click out of a scene or whatever, but I constantly found myself missing and re-aiming and retrying over and over to hit the X because my mouse was just a little bit wonky. So it just needs a little bit of fine-tunement there. Not a very big thing in my opinion. Number 2, the game's way of working is a little bit odd. Like in Banished, the game shows where the blocks for the building are, right? So when you're going to build, you know where it's going to be, like a little shadow, like a little pre-look at what's going to be there. You know, it gives you those little arrows, and those arrows show you 2 things. One of those things is which way the house is facing, and where you could build a road is a second thing. But in this game, it shows you the arrows, but the arrows are a part of the house. So in other words, the arrows are only there to show you which direction it's facing. It doesn't include the area where a road can go. Now this caused me some confusion and irritation as I was trying to place everything in a specific way and keep it nice, neat, orderly, and looking good. I mean, that's part of a city builder anyway, right? To make it look good. And I had to adapt as buildings were going crooked thanks to this weird design choice. And also along that same vein, the road placing. I mean, it doesn't show me where the roadblock is when I click on it, and it doesn't give me a nice preview. So when I'm trying to align certain things and make sure I'm placing all these things where they need to go to look nice or to be efficient, unfortunately, I only know where the road is going after the fact that I already started placing it, causing me some minor level of irritation and discomfort, and I hope that with a patch or something they can kind of fix that a little bit. Number 3. The game's tutorial is severely lacking. They have one, which is a good start, but it's like the tutorial only lasts for the first half, and then the last half of the tutorial is just gone, leaving you to wonder. Now, I had to make a point about this because tutorials are big for me and on my channel, so I have to make mention of it, whether it's good or bad, and it has to give it its own point because that's how much I believe that we need tutorials in our video games. But anyway, what I was getting across here is certain things like that are just not included, like, for instance, how the actual hell am I supposed to upgrade my town center? I went to research and clicked on the building, and I searched all the buildings that I can create, both the ones that are unlocked and not yet unlocked, yet I couldn't find in any of these ways how to upgrade my darn town center. This really sucks because I can't build farms until it's upgraded, which also sucks because all other forms of food gathering here is terrible. But this is about the poor tutorial and not that other stuff, so I'll just leave it at this. The tutorial is very basic, barely there, and doesn't help you a whole lot, so you'll be doing a lot of trial and error. And my final negative is the gameplay design in some aspects. While I like the idea of having gold to spend on things and having to use research time to unlock stuff, there are a few choices here that I feel are a bit poorly designed. If you're not going to let us create farms, which you can't do for a very long time apparently, which is also considered basic stuff for games like this, then you have to at least let the food sources that you do give us be adequate. 2 game tries I did this trying to make this work, and on the second one I went in prepared, and I still ran out of food. Your people die way too fast, by the way. And I upgraded my food supply places and did everything possible, and still my population died of hunger. It made no sense. If you're going to hinder us in such a way, then at least make it somewhat easier for us to figure out how to keep our people alive. I even looked for a codex or a Wikipedia or anything in-game to help me learn how to upgrade my town center so I could build farms, and I still couldn't find anything. But that's the biggest example of weird gameplay designs that this game tries out, and I mean it's a big one to me because it was really frustrating, and I feel like if that's not fixed, it could just kill the game entirely for me. Maybe I'm missing something, I don't know, but it was really frustrating as a first-time player jumping into this. So, that's all I got for my pros and cons, so now on to my final thoughts. I like it. I mean, I kind of really like it. I mean, it's like a modern-day Banished, which I'm a huge fan of, because it's so, you know, casual. I mean, it's so frickin' similar to Banished that if I hadn't already checked, I'd assume it was the same people who made it. So if you liked that game, then you're going to love this one. It's simple and casual, which is exactly what I've been looking for lately. Now obviously it has its problems, it's not perfect, but for the price tag, for what's there, and for how it's introducing new stuff, I feel like it's totally worth it. Would I recommend starting at this game if you're new to the genre? No, not really, probably not a good idea. But if you are a fan of medieval style city builders, then this one is right up your alley, and I highly recommend it, especially if you're looking for something that's a little bit more laid back, a little bit more casual, a little bit more relaxed. I mean, I love some of the aspects here. Choosing to support the king or not, watching my NPCs go from their home to their work, then head out to hunt, then come back and skin, and then watch them drop off the resources before heading home. I mean, that's cool shit. That's cool attention to detail stuff that I like to see here. So, I mean, it's like somebody listened to all my previous rants and all my complaints about all the other city builders that I've been reviewing this year, and they were just like, you know what, he's right, we should do something like that. And then they put it together and made it into a game. So, you know, whoever, if that's what really happened, kudos, because I really appreciate it. So, honestly, if you're looking at this game and wondering if this game will be worth it or not, then I'm here to tell you that it is. I enjoyed it, and I intend to keep it, and keep playing, and maybe help my people not to starve this next time around. So that's all I got for this episode, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video or at least found it informative, then please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And hey, maybe even share the video. Alright, everyone? Alright, thanks again so much for watching. I can't wait to see you all again on my next adventure. And until then, I bid you all farewell.